Thomas, hello. How are you?
Hi, Scott. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, all good.
You doing well as an opener then? How are you doing with everything? How's it impacted your kind of working life? Because I can imagine for actors auditions and reading scripts and everything else, how's it kind of affected your day to day? And are you coping okay with lockdown?
Yeah. I mean, the whole industry is just like obviously gone kaput and shut down. But yeah, I've been coping all right. I literally managed to film. We were filming this thing called Boiling Point, which is Stephen Graham's new production company, and he literally it's his first thing with it. And we made a feature which was out of a short, and we literally managed to complete it just before Boris came on and said like official lockdown. So it was cutting it fine. We literally just managed to do it. So it was nice to get that in the can just before it all kicked off, really. So, but yeah, apart from that, it's been quite. It's kind of crazy at times, but also just trying to embrace sort of the pause, if you know what I mean, and just sort of go okay, because we're not used to kind of just going like and stopping. They're always used to something. So it's getting your head around that, and sometimes that's been quite nice. Yeah, really.
Yeah, I think it's the same for us in terms of work wise. Just yeah, taking the amount of stuff that not just us, but obviously people in outside of the industry as well, similar to you, is that you kind of go all the time. So you take kind of stock of everything, and then realize actually I don't maybe need to go 100 miles an hour every single day. just take
It's
stock of
true.
everything.
Yeah, and kind of what matters, and yeah, obviously there's a lot of crap stuff, a lot of bad stuff with it, but yeah, there is some positives, I'm sure, and I hope that yeah, the things that sort of matter or that mean the most to people, it starts putting things in perspective after all this and when it's finished, and yeah, fingers crossed. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think it will affect much for you guys as actors? Because obviously you're similar, I guess, to like obviously they're talking about the Premier League and everything. How obviously in terms of the actual sport, people are quite close together, and to play a football match right now is kind of completely the opposite of what people are supposed to be doing. 22 guys. You guys obviously have not just actors, but you have massive crews and on location. I mean, do you think it will change much afterwards, or do you think it will be it'll maybe be a good thing that it might change things in a positive way?
Yeah, I don't know. There has been a few articles. I haven't fully read them, I must admit, but that I've heard the sort of gist of, and the fact that they're talking of can they carry it on, but with like a yeah, it's going to be hard because film crews, just by their nature, everyone's in there together and actors together, and yeah, I mean, apparently in some countries the industry started up again already. I think that had been hit, but um, yeah, I'm not sure how, or if it does, I'm not sure how it would change necessarily for the better because of this, or maybe just more people washing their hands after they've been to the toilet. That might be a good thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
been in a lot of toilets where guys don't wash their hands, and I'm like, oh mate, there's soap right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's kind of made people, yeah, particularly blokes, appreciate the importance of washing one's hands after they've been to the toilet.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of guilty people out there. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the one thing we've had is lots of time to catch up on TV and everything. There's a plethora of good shows. Obviously, your show Save Me and Save Me Too has just been an explosion of amazing kind of responses and everything else. How have you kind of taken to the response of the show, and how proud are you that people are embracing it as they are?
Yeah, we're really excited about how it's gone down. Well, again, like in the first series, we all read it, and it was like all round. We all were saying this is one of the best things, kind of we've read. So it was a joy to perform and make because everyone was so delightful. But we all thought, this is really good. But you never know how it's going to land, and luckily, yeah, it landed well, and people took to it. But Lennie, I think, always had an arc in his head of where it's going to go. It wasn't just we're going to make another series for the sake of it. But so yeah, and we always had the trust in him that yeah, when we were going again, it would be for a reason and a purpose. And I think yeah, that's kind of what I guess. Yeah, he's stepped it up. I feel like series two. I think he's expanded. Um, he's gone into more characters in depth, and characters maybe we didn't go into as much have come to and meeting new characters, Leslie Manville's and Ade Edmondson's, who we literally got at the bit at the end of series 1, really. So it's I think he's got even more confident, I think, with his writing and the vernacular he's made, which is like quite unique. It's like it's really, it feels really naturalistic, but at the same time, it's got like a real, I don't know if you feel it, like a sort of a poetry to it. That's completely his own. That is like unique to the characters in the world, and it's so it's that balance between like a poetry and just really, really real and really coming from the heart. So he's a talented man, and we were so glad to do it again and get all together again to do it.
Yeah, and it's, as you say, the kind of ensemble is so impressive. But the great thing that Lennie does, and everybody else behind the scenes, is just all these characters feel really fleshed out. And like you say, in series 2, there's other characters that you get to see and kind of explore their backstory. How happy were you with Goz's story? Because I know you spoke in other interviews about how he's kind of guilt-ridden and feels kind of responsible in some ways. But how excited were you to read your character's kind of development through the second season?
Really excited. Like I had some lovely stuff in series 1 with the character and the journey there, but I was chuffed that he delved into it even more. And as I say, like what you just said, he's got this guilt hanging over him that he feels he owes Nelly, because he feels somewhat responsible for his connection with the students, that he never really spotted their dealings and their involvement with Jodie. And and just to get to act with Lennie again and go into them scenes with him was just like, it was amazing. It was just a joy to speak his words, and he's really trusting. Like as a writer, obviously he's amazing, but he leaves all that to the side when he's on screen with you and when you're playing, and he's got a great deal of trust.
Well, my other question was going to be about your relationship with Lennie and kind of the friendship that you guys have, I guess, off screen, but also on screen, because there's a real kind of genuine friendship, a real kind of deep rooted friendship between the two characters through this kind of crazy thing this crazy event that's kind of going on and really pushing them to their limits. I mean, was that an easy thing to do, given that it was Lennie and that he was so kind of invested in the characters and everything, that the two of you were able to really kind of bring that friendship to the screen quite easily?
He's very easy to get on with. Like for a start, like he's just the most he's got time for everyone on set, like from the crew, the Sparks. He knows everyone's names. But he's just a complete inspiration in terms of how to conduct yourself, and like he's got all this pressure of writing the bloody thing, but then he comes in every day and he's literally on it, and really generous, and so we've always got on and stuff, and we've kept in touch like outside of the show and stuff, and there's a huge cast WhatsApp group, and everyone's quite nattery. Leslie Manville was a bit like, what is going on here? She joined it in series 2. She's like, you guys, you don't shut up. She woke up to about 900 messages one morning. She was like, how do I leave this thing? But we wouldn't let her leave. But no, so basically he's just a joy to play off. I think character wise, like sort of, it's a weird, kind of a weird relationship, but they are like sort of best mates. So Goz has got kind of like a bit of almost like a hero complex with him, because I think Nelly sort of lives off former glories, and he was like a ladies' man, and like everyone looked up to him, and he was the fun guy at the party. And he's kind of a bit of a faded version of that as we came into series 1, and in series 2 he's his Sparks even more jaded. But I think there's a line in the series that I think Remy says, who plays my girlfriend, Daisy, she's like, he loves you, and I think that's it. He sort of idolizes him and loves him. So Nelly sort of takes advantage of that a little bit, I think, in this series, and he pushes the friendship to the limit, and he knows Goz will go to the ends of the earth. So he takes advantage of that, I think. But it's just a joy to do those scenes with him. yeah, he's just very trusting. We just bounce off each other, so it was lovely. Yeah, and some of them are quite a lot of fun as well. Yeah,
I can imagine. You touched on Daisy / Remy there, and obviously the relationship you two guys have is fantastic in the show as well. I mean, that must have been such a joy to not only get to do the stuff with Lennie, but to have Goz have this kind of love story and have this backstory aside from his friendship with Lennie's character. I mean, that must have been great, because the two of you seem to get on like a house on fire, and the relationship, there's a real kind of realness to the relationship between the two characters.
Yeah, she's. I mean, they all are. Like the whole cast from top to bottom is just a delight and a laugh. And but yeah, me and Remy really got on, and like we're close mates outside of the show, so that was easy to translate, I think, into the characters. And Lennie kind of said that he thought that those two, Goz and Daisy, were sort of the core, like idealistic love, like example of love within the show, sort of like that's. So when it gets rocky for them, or when it gets tested in the second series, it's like that's kind of like a big test for them both. But yeah, like we had fun, and we had to do karaoke together. Neither of us can. Well, she can sing better than me, but I definitely can't sing that well. So yeah, we had like an example of that. We had to do a song, and I think it was going to be "I Got You, Babe," but I couldn't get the rights, I think. So then we did another beautiful song, which is "Only You" by Yazoo. Is it Yazoo? Yeah, but we had to follow Camilla, who did "I Tried" by Macy Gray, and she's an amazing singer. So we were both like, and Lennie was like, "Don't worry, it's just about you two connect. Camilla's is out to the audience. You two is for each other. Doesn't matter if it sounds rubbish." And it did sound rubbish, but hopefully we pulled it off.
Yeah, I think so. And it's nice to, you know, your as I say, your love story is so sweet and so kind of genuine, but in amongst all of this kind of really serious, really kind of arduous time for particularly for Lennie's character, but also the family and everything else. I mean, how important is it for you guys to have, you know, when you're kind of on set, to, you know, to make sure that you're serious with the material, but afterwards, because it's such a heavy subject, that you guys are kind of, you know, lightening the load, so to speak, that you can have those moments of levity as well as, you know, all the serious stuff that's continuously going on.
I think, yeah, no, that is important, and because, as I've said previously, that it's such a lovely bunch of people, and the crew, the cast. It's like Stephen Graham, he always says, yeah, like, take your job seriously, but don't take yourself seriously. So there's a lot of joy and laughter, particularly like in the group scenes at the pub. They're always a joy to film in the Palm. And when we all get together, and sometimes because it's such a small space and everyone's trying to catch up with each other, and the directors have a bit of a job to quieting everyone down, and they've got all the supporting artists as well. But it's we do it. We have quite a laugh in between, but also everyone's really sensitive, because it's there's a storyline that's full of, you know, quite a lot of troubling things and dark places that the characters and therefore the actors have to go to, that everyone's really sensitive at the same time, to give people space when they need that. So there's not always sort of joking in amongst and in around takes, if you know what I mean. Everyone's good at being sensitive to what each actor needs, I guess. But yeah, it's just a lovely bunch to play with every time we go into film.
Yeah. And obviously the show's been hugely successful. You've had 2 seasons. There's talk already of a third, and as you say, Lennie's kind of got this big plan for where it's going to go. How does that bring you both excitement and kind of a little bit of I guess scaredness in some ways, that, you know, you're going to go back and there's going to be more, and there's going to be more for you to discover? But is that healthy to have that kind of balance of, I just don't know what's going to happen in series 3? Unless, I mean, has he given you any indication of where it might go? Are you quite happy to not know until you need to know?
Yeah, I mean, like, there's same with series 2. I think he had an arc, but he didn't really discuss it until maybe like a few months before we started series 2. I mean, like, yeah, he dropped in as well that I've got lots of driving in series 2, and he was like, yeah, you drive me here, then you drive me here, and then I was like, he's like, you drive? I was like, no, I don't drive. He said, well, you better get learning. So I learned to drive within like 2 or 3 months leading up to, and it was quite a good job. I passed, but there was still some hairy moments because Lennie was aware that I was just past, so there was some scenes where he was a bit worried for his life. He didn't need to be, but he said he was. He's a bit of a drama queen like that. But yeah, he's told me nothing about series 3. I know that I think if he's got ideas in his head, I think there are certain elements that are unfinished and ends that can be definitely tied off with the last series. I think with a final one. But yeah, again, we'd all trust him. I think if he chose to do it, if he went that way, yeah, like, but I literally haven't got a clue. I've got ideas, and me and Remy were always saying that we think there should be a wedding, and then like that would be a good chance for all the characters to get together. Yeah, but we'd all be up for it. I'm sure we'd all jump. Like, it's such a kind of like a special project. Like Stevie Graham was commuting from the bloody the North Pole literally to do his stuff because he was filming this other thing, which I can't remember the name of, but he was literally commuting to the Palm in Mile End and then going back up to the North Pole, coming back, and just because he loved it, and he's got a great respect for Lennie, and I think everyone is just sort of would go that extra step to make it work. Like if it happens, he's got enough time to write it in lockdown now. We're hoping he's out in Texas doing it.
yeah, I'm sure he's got enough time to really kind of refine it now. Just as a final question, you mentioned working with Steven. Obviously, you've done Boiling Point with him, which sounds really exciting. How is it? We had the opportunity. I've spoken to him a couple of times in the last few months because he's obviously been really busy. He's had The Irishman. He was in A Christmas Carol. I think he may or may not be in the new Venom film. He wouldn't really tell anybody. He wouldn't tell us about it, certainly. But he's had such an amazing career. It must be great to work with someone like that who has been able to have those opportunities and you can learn from, and then I guess to then go to work with him as well is an even great added bonus.
Yeah, completely. He's in my top 5 kind of like of actors, and growing up and watching like This Is England was just a massive inspiration on me. And so yeah, when I saw his name on the wall of like when we'd gone to get costume fittings, we still didn't know who exactly the rest of the cast was. So I saw his picture, I was like, oh my God. Like, yeah. But yeah, I didn't really tell him that until the last day of filming series 1. I said, like, just want you to know, like, you're one of my like idols. He was like, oh, don't fucking say that. And he was quite modest. Like, he's really modest and down to earth, and he was blushing. And I was like, I just got to tell you, because, you know, if something happens and I'm not in series 2 or we don't get to meet again. And yeah, like he's top drawer as a person and as an actor. Like all of them, you watch and you learn from. But 100% him, yeah, just like he just does things. You're like, wow, how does he do that? And how does he? And then when you're in scenes like together, you don't feel like you really have to. You're just listening to him and reacting because he's so good, and you're just taking it in. Yeah, but that goes across the board, like Susan Lynch, Jason Fleming, Alice. Yeah, they're all brilliant. So you don't really feel you have to force yourself into a situation or imagine it. It's kind of, you just play, and everyone's so real. It just makes your job easier, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think I'll ever get over the scene or be able to unsee the scene of him picking a fisty fight with Al Pacino in The Irishman. That was a hilarious scene. I think only he could have done that. Do you know what I mean? Took a little special person to want to pick a fight with Al Pacino.
He told us about that when we were doing series 2, like, and then he whacked his ice cream away, and he said that he gave like the cameraman and the props department a heads up, but he didn't give Pacino a heads up. And yeah, it's nuts because all them are like, he grew up with idols, them being obviously, I mean, they're fucking idols to me as well. But I look up to Stephen Graham like that, and that he went up to, you know, and he's looking up to people like obviously De Niro and Pacino like that, and he's, oh, can I do it? Can I knock this ice cream off? And yeah, and it's like, yeah, no, he's on a level with them. He's as good, and he's proved it. He's up there with them. You know, he's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, listen, thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate you chatting to us. The show is fantastic, so I wish you all the best with that. And with season 3, fingers crossed, you get to do that. I'm sure people will be very excited to see it.
Thank you, Scott. Yeah, we'll see what happens, but fingers crossed. And I really appreciate everyone that's watched the show and everything and tuned in. Like, we're all on the WhatsApp group, chuffed to pieces. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, listen, thanks so much for your time, and good luck with everything. Thank you so much.
And yourself, man. Take care. Cheers.
Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey!